Welcome to our interview today in our Aged Care Technology series, and I have Greg Alone with us, Regional Vice President of Epicor. Today we're going to discuss industry compliance when it comes to software. So Greg, why is it important?
Well, industry compliance is part of the PIMBRIC framework. It talks about government compliance, industry standards, and policy processes that an organisation must follow. So software that is built to understand the frameworks that the aged care organisation must work within. So fundamentally, it's there to assist, it's there to aid the organisation to remain compliant and ensure that their reporting and the standards that they have to adhere to are met, and met more accurately and more efficiently for the organisation.
So I assume this means that the software provider, in this case Epicor, does the hard work for you because you've got to keep compliance up to date, your system's compliant and up to date for
Absolutely.
All of your clients.
For all of our clients, and particularly it's interesting today with the massive push into cloud on behalf of our clients. So the aged care industry is quite well advanced in this globally, and they want cloud. But when it's cloud, we're integrating to government systems with our clients. And that means that we must keep them compliant. We're jointly responsible for that. So it's much deeper. We work with the industry bodies, and we also work with the government to ensure that the standards are met and met in time, and giving our operators the time to be able to adopt and test and ensure compliance so that the risk to their organisation is minimised.
So how often does the government give you enough time to develop your systems to be compliant?
It never feels like enough time, but they do give us plenty of time, and we work very closely with them. We do test the standards, we do test the integrations, we do test what they're doing, and we then work with a number of our aged care providers to ensure that we've understood it and interpreted it correctly. We take some of that feedback back to the government where it's just not going to work or the timing's not right. And sometimes the government is mandating some pretty quick timeframes. But you're typically talking months or years here. The Royal Commission has pushed a few initiatives forward, and for good reason. So our job is to ensure we're doing everything we can to help the industry to be compliant well in time, but more so that they've got time to get comfortable with it and test it.
We've covered compliance, but the systems have to interoperate with government, don't they? Or the government departments, like funding and so on. So how does that operate?
So look, fundamentally, as a requirement comes out, or there's a standard that needs to be met, and Department of Health and Services Australia will determine what they are and translate that to industry. We then work with them to ensure that that is something that is achievable, like PROTA. We've got to understand how PROTA works and how can that be put into action for our aged care customers. That relatively simple framework then ensures that the software is integrated in the right way and is delivering the right data in a way that the operator can collect that data and distribute it, make sense of it, but the government can also assess that data efficiently.
You're in big trouble if the operators can't get their funding on time because
That's very true, and it's very important, obviously, to the providers, because that funding is the lifeblood of keeping the organisation operating.